Hello, Dave Fernandez again, Anatomy Physiology, lab number 7, experiment number 3, I believe. So now I'll be taking care of the cow eye, if I could ever get my gloves on. And after having read the instructions, I realized that I actually don't need a face mask. So that was fun, just fogging up my fogging up my glasses every single time I was taking a breath. So. And you know, you live and you learn, right? So, all right, let's get right to it. All right, so that's good. Okay, our handy dandy eyeball, apparently. And without further ado again, let's get started. There we go. Okay. I would normally just throw this immediately away, but they say that we need some writing, and I'm not sure what that means yet, so I'm just going to put that to the side. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Should be fine. Okay, well. Here's the eye. And I just realized I should get the forceps. No matter, should be just fine. Okay, now. First of all, I'm supposed to identify the conjunctiva. That's the outer part of the eye. It's actually not part of the eye. It's just the fat that insulates the eye from any kind of like vibrations or any kind of sudden shocks, so that doesn't cause any permanent damage. So I guess this is part of the eyelid. So I'm gonna just start this right off. I'm just following the instructions by the book, basically. It says to observe the cow eye, remove the fat. So. You know, normally I would see the optic nerve, or I would know where it is. On this part, on this eye, I don't quite see it. Unless it's just this little notch, this little knob right there. I'm not sure. Let's find out. As we continue. Okay, this is about as good as it's gonna get. So, oddly enough, it feels like it's made out of fabric. And so, well, this out of the way. There we go. Out of the way. Okay, so now that the conjunctiva has been removed, next is to make an incision into the cornea till the aqueous humor is released. According to the video, he didn't. The guy didn't actually puncture the cornea. I'm gonna do what the guy in the video did. So I'm just going to pierce it on the side here. Yeah, and it is rather hard. Okay. Now the instructions in this thing said to make an incision into the cornea till the aqueous humor is released. After that, we're just going to make an incision along the scalpel to the coronal plane through the sclera. So that one half will have the anterior features of the eye, and the other half will contain the posterior features of the eye. Which is kind of weird because the anterior and posterior halves are not exactly halves for the eye, but whatever. So there you go. Without further ado, here we are. Well, I think my eye was just I think my eye was just a little bit dry because it's not really leaking. There it is. There's a little bit. Alright. Trying not to damage the inside too much. Almost out. Let's see. Okay. Alrighty. So, next step. This should be actually the vitreous humor, I believe. The aqueous humor is at the front of the eye. Yeah, the aqueous humor is the front of the eye. And the vitreous humor is, if I'm not mistaken, it's this jelly-like substance that's in the back of the eye. How about that? Take a look. Looks like an egg white. There it is. So, I'm just going to get rid of it. There it is. Well, there's one side. And yeah, it's just, I think the eye personally is just very interesting. So fragile, so beautiful though. Alright, so all the vitreous humor has been removed. So this is, I mean, the eye, and well, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. I wanted to see the ciliary bodies holding the iris? Iris? No. The lens, I'm sorry. Okay. Next is position to the anterior half of the cornea so that it's in front of you on the dissection tray. Next, so, best step ever. Cut through the cornea. What? Okay, using the scalpel, cut through the cornea. Alright. So. Okay. Again, the instructions say cut through the cornea of the eye, exposing the iris. This is not like the YouTube video guide at all. Okay. Well, so it's been cut through. Remove the iris located between the cornea and the lens. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there it is right there. Should be this part right here. You can see it. Not well, but okay. Using forceps, remove the iris located between the cornea and lens. Anterior half of the eye contains the lens. Notice the vitreous humor, the clear gel posterior to the lens. We already went over this, and I did notice it. Very good. So, using the scalpel and forceps, remove the lens from the specimen. Remove the lens from the specimen. Okay. So here's the lens, and there we go. The ciliary bodies are still holding onto it, and at least partly. So I'm trying to lightly get rid of it. I think on the video did. Oh, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to put this to the side. In case we haven't talked about anything yet. So the front part is obviously, the front part of the eye is called the cornea. The liquid inside, between the lens and the cornea, is the aqueous humor. After that is the iris, which is the part that controls the amount of light flow. It focuses the amount of light in the eye. And it is around the lens. The opening in the iris is actually called a pupil. So it's not actually an actual thing, it's just an abscess. The ciliary body holds the lens, which, here we go, is the lens. We talked about already about the anterior chamber, and this is obviously the posterior chamber, is the part in the back. That's the one that has vitreous humor. And I think we are all caught up there as to what I'm supposed to discuss up to this point, and the defining landmarks. So, without further ado, let's continue. So, remove the lens from the specimen, place the lens on a piece of paper with writing on it. Okay. Handy dandy piece of paper. And amazing, it looks like a magnifying glass. And if you hold it upside down, amazing, an even stronger magnifying glass. And it's yellow. Moving on. So, there are 4 parts to the human eye. It was the sclera, the choroid, and the retina. That's what it is. But there is a fourth part that cows have, and it's the I forgot what it's called. It's the tapetum fibrosum. No, that's what humans have. The cow is the tapetum lucidum. Tapetum lucidum. That's it. And that's the blue part. Looks really pretty. It looks kind of like blue and teal, and teal's my favorite color, so I can't hate it at all. So, sorry. Moving on. Posterior half of the eyeball. Remove the vitreous humor, and note the blood vessels in the posterior wall. This is the retina. So the retina is right here. It surrounds the entire eyeball, but as I was cutting the eyeball in half, the retina sort of detached from the walls. So kind of did me a favor there. And I'm just wrapping it up. I'm just wrapping it up, and it should be, yeah, there we go. There it is. Okay, there we go. So the retina is stuck, or it goes into the opening in the back right there, and that will lead to the optic nerve, which I can only assume it's this part right here, because there's nothing else that's really sticking out anywhere. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say that that's the optic nerve right here. So, and this, slippery little bugger. And this little hole right here is the optic disc. So that's pretty cool. After that is, oh, let's see what the instructions say. Receiver, press in the retina and slide around the eyeball to get a sense of where the optic nerve connects to the tissue. Right. Gently lift the retina to the wall of the eye. You should observe a colorful shiny blue, the choroid coat to the vascular tunica. Right. Okay. Well, let's see what the next. All right. So I guess that's it. I already talked about. Yeah, I believe I got everything. It's there about the disc choroid. Yep. All right, so that concludes it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys again. Well, I'll see you again next week. You take care.